Hello. My name is Veritas. In light of recent events and the ridiculousness the role of YouTube algorithms, I couldn't help but come forward and add my own contribution to this discussion. Yes, this is not my real voice, but I thought it would be easier this way. Let me say first off, I am proud for the many victims of religious abuse for being bold and coming forward. These things are not easy. For too long, religious impunity has infected our most cherished places, our most sacred places of worship. What should be the most safest space, has become a breeding nest for predators, canardists, and showmen of all kinds. I can no longer tolerate what I have read about and observed myself with those who use Christianity for exploitive means. To the leaders of God's house, His church, which is His body, His temple, for how much longer will you permit this cycle of toxic leadership perpetuated by the groomers? Grooming the groomed with this trait of canardistry. For years you have stood there with your persuasive buzzwords boisterously, shouting and yelling, revival. Fire. Power. Is God deaf that you have to do this? Or perhaps your great grandiose revival tarries because of you. Because of your malpractice of abuse. Because it is about you, and this religious franchise you have created. Many of you act the same, as if you all have been conditioned by the same cycle of this religious trade. And no, I am not talking about a mere style of worship. Like when you give altar calls to pray over people, you manipulate emotion, push others, like it's some show. A show. But maybe that's the way you've been taught and trained. The charismatic movement has a serious issue it needs to re-examine. It's not enough to call it immaturity, for when you've been saying they is your justification for years. Is it really that difficult to learn humility and virtue? Or is it that you're afraid you will not be able to attract and engage younger people to your church which you so seek to retain membership? Of course, I've never been involved in church leadership, and maybe I don't know what I am talking about. But these are observations from one that has studied the scriptures, and had sat quietly for too long. Enough of the theatrics. We must pray and rid our hearts from the cycle of toxic spirituality. Lastly, concerning the IHOPKC situation. My thoughts. Give this prayer movement over to the victims, those ones no one knows about. The ones not trained in your years of arts. The ones that haven't been groomed by the cycle of toxic leadership. The prayer movement will still go on, God willing. Without IHOPKC if that's the path God has chosen. For He is not a respecter of persons, and needs no one, no matter how charismatic they are. We must always check to see if our loyalties are pure or if they are blind to the expense of truth. These are just some of my thoughts for now.